The MCU is dead.
Oh shit.
It's Van Lathan. That's Joanna Robinson.
I thought
this
it
is
was
my victory party. This is like I won the NBA Finals.
I thought it
Now
was
I'm
going
celebrating.
to be is the MCU dead? That's what we
No,
agreed
the
to.
MCU's dead. Oh,
Absolutely
it's supposed to
not.
be is the MCU. My bad. I read the cue card wrong.
What's your deal? Why do you?
I just want us to make real movies again.
Like what?
I don't want to be in these universes anymore.
Like the White Shadow?
No, that's not a universe.
I know. I'm taking
it's a TV show.
I'll take shot at your
You're
shit.
trying to hurt me?
Yeah.
No, I
What
I don't want to waste.
Like The Dark Knight?
I do. That
What
was
about
in 2008.
some superhero movies?
Can we make it that we just try harder and have less of them, and then the ones we make are better?
That's probably.
I think Bob Iger said literally the same thing.
Yeah,
we're going to do less and do better.
Yeah.
Why did Hollywood? How did we get here? Where they were just like, let's just keep funneling these out. Let's T-shirt cannon this. Let's just more.
Iron Man, the one you love,
from 2008,
made so much money, and that's what happens in Hollywood. Something makes so much money, and people just want more of that money.
Why do we have to keep remaking? Like, there's another Superman movie coming out. I saw the first Superman movie in the theater.
Why do they have to keep doing with James Bond?
Ooh, you hit
well, why do they?
What about another Mission Impossible movie?
Yeah, why?
What about another Fast and Furious movie?
Cruise is Fast and Furious. I jumped off the bandwagon.
Why?
I was done after 8.
So because there are a couple of things, right?
What else do we have to say about Superman at this point? What more is
you have to say the same thing to a new generation? So
is that what it is?
Yeah, it is.
You're just rebooting it every 8 years.
I think there are too many Superman movies, but we do need to keep making them. Maybe not as frequently as we have made them.
So this is what I would say. There are stories that the archetype of the story. So we keep telling the same story, the archetype, right? Like fucking The Matrix is a Superman movie, basically, right?
Right.
However, there are certain stories that in mythology, in culture, that we will repeat. 20 years from now, a new generation will get their version of Romeo and Juliet. Now, you can say that Romeo and Juliet is much more
not important. The Claire Danes Leo version?
I love that. But see?
That's a perfect film. But the problem is, we have been doing this forever. The problem of the Hollywood that we exist in now is that they're no longer calling it something new. They're just using the same name because IP familiarity is what gets people to leave their houses and go to the theater. So they're not going to go see The Matrix necessarily, but they will see another Superman movie.
And also, we also know that the business of this stuff is involved. So we know that they had to make another Spider-Man.
Spider-Man specifically.
Specifically, right?
Is a legality thing.
They had to make another one because if they didn't make another one, then the rights reverted back to Marvel.
Oh, that's always a good reason to make a movie.
Well, it's a reason nonetheless, right? So
certainly a reason.
They had to make one. But look, I think any story, any character can move people as long as you take the proper care of it.
It would have been funny if they, you know how when musicians, they're trying to get out of their record deal and they, like Prince would do this, you make like just a shitty album to finish the deal. It would have been funny if they did that with that, when they were like, oh, we have to make a movie or the rights revert back. We'll just make the worst version of this movie possible.
Well, Andrew Garfield.
It kind of did. I mean, the first one's not super bad.
I like the first Andrew Garfield one, but the second one,
they kind of just threw the shit together.
Yeah.
But you are you're the preeminent student of the universe.
I literally wrote a book on it, but Van can hang with this conversation. I don't think the MCU's dead. If that's your question.
So what's going to save it in the second half of the decade? What are the fixes?
Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four and Daredevil. Here's what's happening. They've got a bunch of Fox properties that they haven't used yet so Fantastic Four is one of them. They haven't figured out what they're doing with the X-Men yet. They're going to slow down, which is what they promised to do. The reason they got into trouble, Marvel specifically, Sony's a different thing, DC is a different thing, but the reason Marvel got into trouble is they were trying to do too much all at once. There were a million shows, a million movies. And they've just
money grab. It's the money grab era.
And like trying to keep up with all the other streamers, right? Disney wants to have its own streamer to keep up with Netflix, etc.
Yeah.
So they have to generate all this content for it. It's what crashed and burned Star Wars as well. This generating more. So Iger, even though it was his idea to do that in the first place, Iger has come back and said, we're going to do less.
He was like, my bad.
No, he was just like, I don't know who said to do that.
Yeah, it was like, who was that guy?
Bob Chapek? I think it's his fault. I'm the better Bob, and it's fine. We're going to do it my way now. So we're going to do less. And my hope is that by doing less and doing better, which is what you asked for, we'll get great movies that we love. Like you love Iron Man.
Let me
You're
give you-
hoping for Superman.
Let me give you desperately. Let me give you an example of another movie that shouldn't have been made that kind of falls into the same category. It's not a superhero movie though. The Many Saints of Newark. Now, The Many Saints of Newark.
Robert Downey Jr.
That was a good 10-minute test movie for me because I liked
I
it after I
thought
saw.
that
I
I
liked it for
fucked
like
with
a
it.
week, and then I was like, "Oh wait, I didn't like that."
I thought that I liked it, right?
Yeah,
But The Many Saints of Newark is made, in my opinion, specifically to ground a Tony Soprano universe that could exist on HBO Max. Because during the IP wars, everyone is bringing out their big guns to say,
Yeah.
this is the only place you can get this. If you want Star Trek, you got to go to Paramount. If you want Taylor Sheridan, you got to go to Paramount. And everybody is doing all of that stuff. That movie is made
if you
for
want 50 Cent, you go to Stars.
Stars. 50 running shit over there. That movie is made for the same reason why they keep turning out this other stuff. That movie is made to exploit the existing IP that the company has.
But think about what
and,
you just said.
and when they brought it wasn't
Imagine if they did 9 Soprano shows because
but
they were like,
going to. They were going to.
Here's a
I'm not
Christopher
saying they
prequel
should.
show.
I don't think they should.
Right, but that's
Just make anything.
yeah.
But
I
that's
don't
where we
think-
got to with some of the
Certainly.
genre.
It's true, and
Yeah.
I think Marvel's dialing it back.
And so is Star Wars, hopefully.
We hope.
They gave us
Like we love this shit, but like we all agree that everything got out of control.
yeah, it got too much.
We don't have endless appetite for this stuff. Just
I mean,
you
we've
know,
certainly gotten a lot of podcasts at it, so that's been good from a ringer
I was about to
standpoint.
say, what are
We
you
got
doing right now? I was about to say, what are you doing
Well,
to me?
I love movies.
First of
and
all, the beep
here-
is disrespectful, and now you're
Midnight
trying
Boys,
to
beep beep.
you're trying to cut the if they stop making if they stop making the shit, then
Nobody's gonna get that because this was gonna come out before the rewatchables, but it's fine.
oh like
well, I like when I do Midnight Boys, I do beep beep, and
Yeah.
then it gets
whatever.
bad.
But if they stop, we need them to make more. Just make Charles watch it all. Just keep pumping out the slop.
Oh, you're trying to break Charles
I'm
Holmes?
trying to break Chuck. Just
It'll be
keep
great radio.
pumping out the schlock.
The day that Charles
worse
Holmes
the shit
finally
is,
breaks.
the better a podcaster Chuck is. He's
Aren't
one
there
of the
other
best.
superheroes that we could have tapped into at this point?
Who do you want?
I mean, I've said this for years. That Plastic Man. Now that we have great CGI, Plastic Man would be unbelievable.
Actually, it could work. But you know what the question is?
Plastic Man was an iconic cartoon in the late 70s.
The
I don't know what
question
happened to him.
is,
Bad Agent.
and Joe can Joe can answer this, is that they've actually kind of tried that. Now, something that the MCU used to be really good at was taking B and C list characters
Yeah.
and making those characters into people that we really cared about. I think what they found out is there's still a gigantic difference between a B- list character and a D list character, and that people have some familiarity with Iron Man and no familiarity with Shang-Chi or the Eternals
Yeah.
or other people like that. And that actually hurts. You have to deliver so much more to the film going public when
but
people
really,
don't know.
Superman, Batman, Spider-Man is just always going to work. Those are the big three.
They'll keep telling the stories forever, in perpetuity.
Van, you mentioned James Bond earlier. I actually think James Bond is a good example of people doing the opposite of what the MCU is doing. Like
Yeah.
Barbara Broccoli, who runs the Bond franchise, who has the rights to that, she knows that she doesn't want to over dilute. That's why there's no James Bond TV shows. That's why there's only a movie every like 5 years. That's why she's not just going to rush into another person until she feels like it's the right person. I feel like although it's been on for 60 years of movies, she at least understands you can't push too hard on it. You have to let people want more, wait till it's right, wait till the script is good and it feels right.
Have we ever had a decade without a Bond film? Have we ever had a decade without multiple Bond films?
And it's not like every Bond film is a knockout of the park.
No,
Right.
but like there's 2 or 3 every 10 years.
Yeah.
And there's no TV shows, there's no other IP.
There's video games.
Yeah, sure, but
By
that's
the
not
way,
the same thing.
if we're going to exploit IP, I have some other options.
Okay, tell me.
Go for it.
Like fucking Godfather, bring it back. Like if
No.
we're really going to exploit
No.
shit,
Yeah.
Godfather in 2025 with a new generation of family members, are we going the first weekend?
I would go.
That's
Yeah.
terrible. You can't do that. You don't- you don't
But
want
that's
it.
my point, though. It's like, well, you can't do that, but we can just exploit these comic book characters for
Hey,
for the rest of eternity.
Here's the deal. Here's the best version of a Marvel comic book character is Kevin Feige, who just wanted to make movies,
Yeah.
is skinning other genres over a superhero
Right.
movie, right? So Winter Soldier, one of our favorites,
Yeah.
that's a conspiracy thriller
spy
film.
movie,
That's a
yeah.
spy movie. You know, he's just like taking these other genres that he's wanted to do. People won't see a new movie that just has a sort of new premise. So he's like, well, what if we put some cape and tights in there, even though they
Yeah.
don't really have capes
Yeah.
and tights anymore. But like that's the best that Marvel has to offer us. And oftentimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work, as with Captain America Brave New World.
Bad movie.
It did not work.
Yeah.
But Deadpool
How's that guy
Wolverine made
Mackie?
Deadpool Wolverine,
It's
not my
fine.
favorite movie, made $1 gajillion.
Yeah.
So I think it's silly to say Marvel's done when they had Deadpool Wolverine just last year.
I think what's done is this era of just the t-shirt cannon era is now done,
And that for the better.
which is, I think, good for all of us.
Yeah.
I think it's good for everyone. I will say this though. I come back to this every time. The audience is going to dictate what they do. And as much as people don't want to take responsibility for what their appetites are, but they have to. So the reality is,
That's you with BDSM.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, the whole deal. We talked about this on a different podcast. People don't want to
Do you want to come on our? Okay, never mind. We'll talk about this.
Yeah. If they put out amazing original films
Yeah.
with amazing original premises, and you guys don't go see them, you're gonna get Robin starring Timothy Chalamet. All right. If you,
Okay, but I would see that.
I would see that
I
too,
would see
right?
that.
That sounds pretty good.
right.
sounds
See,
great.
so what I'm telling you is,
Robin living in the shadow of Batman.
Nightwing, yeah.
Yeah.
they could do it, right? So if you guys don't, so the audience has to be a little bit more daring. We were talking about on the other pod that the film that we did, Crash, existed in a time where people went and saw more movies, and she's right. She's right. People would say, it's Friday night, let me go and watch a movie about race relations. It might be a bummer, but I heard that it was good. Let me go check it out. If people don't get back to that, they're going to resell you your childhood as much as they can because they always know that you will buy it.
Or just give you absolute bullshit to stream while you're looking at your phone at home.
That's my kind of content. Thanks, guys.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Bill.